So we know that xi is a function of x and y, right? So now I have to find out dou by dou x of u xi. I can write this as dou by dou xi of u xi and dou xi by dou x, right? Similarly, dou by dou xi of u xi, oh sorry, this is not xi, this is eta, because I have to consider the new transformation here, right? As I told you in the beginning of this class, dou u by dou x is nothing but dou u by dou xi into dou xi by dou x plus dou u by dou eta into dou eta by dou x. In the place of u, we have u xi, that's it, right? So using this, I can write dou by dou eta of u xi into dou eta by dou x, right? So now we can rewrite this as dou by dou xi into dou u by dou xi into dou xi by dou x plus dou by dou eta into dou u by dou xi into dou eta by dou x. This is nothing but u into xi xi. That means we are differentiating partially u with respect to xi twice, right? So this is xi x plus u eta xi into eta x. So in the place of dou by dou x of u xi, I have to write u xi xi into xi x plus u xi eta or eta xi into eta x. Similarly, find out u eta, dou by dou x of u eta. So dou by dou x of u eta is nothing but dou by dou xi of u eta into dou xi by dou x plus dou by dou eta of u eta into dou eta by dou x. This is nothing but u xi eta into xi x plus u eta eta into eta x. So in the place of dou by dou x into u eta, you have to write this. So putting everything together, we will get, now I will write here directly, u xi eta xi x eta x plus u eta 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 x square plus u eta eta xx plus u eta xi into xi x eta x. So you will get 6 terms. Okay, so let's rewrite this in a normal order, that is u xi xi into xi x square plus I have u eta xi xi x eta x and u xi eta eta x xi x. So from this I can write 2 times of u xi eta into eta x xi x plus u eta eta into xi, sorry, this is eta x square plus u xi xi xx plus u eta into eta xx. This is nothing but my u xx. If you follow the similar procedure, you will get u xy as u xi 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 x xi y plus u xi eta xi x eta y plus u eta xi into xi y eta x plus u eta eta into eta x eta y plus u xi into xi xy plus u eta into eta xy. So again if you simplify this, you will get u xi 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 x xi y plus I will take u xi eta common, so you will get xi x eta y plus xi y eta x plus u eta eta into eta x eta y plus u xi into xi xy plus u eta into eta xy. So this is nothing but uxy. In the same way I have to find out uyy. So you will get uyy as u xi 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 y square plus 2 times of u xi eta into xi y eta y plus u eta eta into eta y square plus u xi into xi yy plus u eta into eta yy. Okay, so now I have to substitute uyy, uxy, uxx, ux, uy in your equation number 1. Equation number 1 is nothing but your general second order linear partial differential equation. Okay, so substituting these values, you will get equation, this in equation 1 we get, so this is what you will get after substituting uxx, uxy, uyy, ux, uy, okay, in your equation number 1. So now what I will do is I will consider this whole term as a bar, this as b bar, this as c bar, this as d bar, this is my e bar and this is my f bar. Okay, sorry, for before that we have to find out coefficient of u xi xi, u eta eta, u xi eta, u xi u eta. The coefficient of all these things will be called as a bar, b bar, c bar, d bar, e bar, f bar and g bar. Okay, so now this equation becomes, I can take u xi xi as common. If I take u xi xi as common, I will get a xi x square plus b xi x xi y plus c u xi xi, sorry, u c xi y square, right? So now take u xi eta as common. You will get 2 times of a into xi x eta x plus, here I have u xi eta here, so I will get b into xi x eta y plus xi y eta x. Similarly here 2 times of c into xi y eta y, isn't it? So now consider u eta eta as common. You will get eta a eta x square plus b eta x eta y plus c eta y square, plus we can take u xi as common. If u xi is common, we will get a xi xx plus, I have u xi here, so b xi xy plus c xi yy plus d xi x plus e xi y, right? So now take uy as common. You will get a eta xx plus b eta xy plus c eta yy plus d eta x plus e eta y, and f u as it is equal to g. Now this is my a bar, this is my b bar, this is my c bar, this whole thing is d bar, this is e bar, and f is equal to f bar, g is equal to g bar. Okay, so we can write this as a bar into u xi xi plus b bar into u xi eta plus c bar into u eta eta plus d bar into u xi plus e bar into u eta plus f bar u is equal to g bar. That means initially the plane we considered was x and y, and now the transformation took place, that is xi and eta plane, right? So your partial differential equation is in terms of xi and eta. So write down the values of a bar, b bar, c bar, d bar, e bar, f bar and g bar here. Okay, so next we have to consider the cases. This is initial preparation for your problems. Okay, this all things helps you in solving the problems. Now we will consider the classifications and we will derive the formula for your classifications. Okay, so let's consider case number 1, that is hyperbolic. Okay, so suppose equation 1, that is your second order linear partial differential equation, is hyperbolic, then it is having the condition b square minus 4ac is greater than 0, right? So if equation 1 is parabolic, then obviously your equation 3 is also parabolic, right? Because this is the transformation of your equation 1. Therefore equation 3 is also parabolic, that is b bar square minus 4a bar c bar is greater than 0. So in order to proceed further, what we will do is, if the value of b square minus 4ac should be greater than 0, then a and c may be equal to 0, alright? So if this value is 0, your negative part will vanishes, so you will get b square itself. Obviously it will be greater than 0. So we will set the value of a bar and c bar as 0. If the value of a bar and c bar is 0, then in your equation 3, a bar and c bar vanishes. That means the value of a bar and the value of c bar will be equal to 0, right? So from equation 4, we have a bar is equal to a xi x square plus b xi x xi y plus c xi y square is equal to 0. Similarly c bar, which is equal to a into eta x square plus b into eta x eta y plus c into eta y square is equal to 0, right? So this two equation can be rewritten as, what I will do is, I will consider xi y whole square as common. So I can write this first equation as a into xi x by xi y whole square plus b into xi x by xi y plus c is equal to 0. Similarly, this equation can be rewritten as a into eta x by eta y whole square plus b into eta x by eta y plus c is equal to 0. So now this equation is nothing but this takes the form of your ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0, right? So for that we know the quadratic equation. So if this takes the form of ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0, then here the unknown is x, right? So I can write this equation, or I can find the unknown, that is xi x by xi y, as xi x by xi y will be equal to minus b plus square root of b square minus 4ac divided by 2a, and eta x by eta y is equal to minus b minus square root of b square minus 4ac by 2a. Since both the equation are in the same form, the only thing is eta x and eta y here unknown. Here xi x by xi y is unknown. So since both the equations are equal, only the name of the unknowns are different. So we are splitting our Sridhar's formula as minus b plus and minus b minus. As we know, the formula is minus b plus or minus square root of b square minus 4ac by 2a. That means your unknown takes two values, right? So I am splitting that as in this way. Okay. Now we know that b square minus 4ac is greater than 0 for hyperbolic. Since b square minus 4ac is greater than 0, if you consider the slope, since it is a derivatives, the slope of the curve eta x comma y is equal to c2 and xi of x comma y is equal to c1 or real. Okay. So this value is positive. Square root of positive, you will get positive itself. So it will not be imaginary. The slope will be real. So if you consider along the curve, you will get along the curve xi of x comma y is equal to c1. So if you differentiate this, we will get d xi, and the value of d xi is 0. c1 is some constant, some real constant, right? So if I differentiate this, I will get d xi as 0. So this implies xi x into dx plus xi y into dy is equal to 0. Why? Because xi is a function of x and y. We can write d xi as d xi by dx into dx. That means I can write d xi is equal to 0, right? Xi is a function of x and y. So we can write this as xi x into dx plus xi y into dy is equal to 0. That means dou xi by dou x into dx plus dou xi by dou y into dy is equal to 0. From this we will get the value of dy by dx in terms of xi x and xi y. That means since xi x into dx plus xi y into dy is equal to 0, I can write this as dy by dx is equal to minus of xi x by xi y. Call this as equation number 5. Okay. So similarly, let's consider one more curve, that is along the curve eta of x comma y is equal to c2. So from this we will get dy by dx is equal to minus of eta x by eta y. Call this as equation number 6. So if you integrate equation 5 and 6, you will get the equation of the family of characteristic curves, right? So you will get the characteristic family of characteristic curves, that is xi of x comma y is equal to c1 and eta of x comma y is equal to c2. So that means the canonical form, if I consider a bar and c bar as 0, it will not affect to my hyperbolic condition, right? So from this, the canonical form in this case is b bar u xi eta plus d bar u xi plus e bar u eta plus f into u bar, sorry, f bar u is equal to g bar. So if the problem is hyperbolic partial differential equation, without a second thought, you will consider your a bar and c bar is equal to 0 and you will find out the remaining terms. Okay, so similarly we have to find out the canonical form for your parabolic as well as to our elliptic equations, which I will explain in the next session. Okay, thank you.